Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I oppose illegal immigration. Let me be clear. I oppose illegal immigration. It undermines the rule of law, it increases risk to our security, and it rewards those who break the law. But I understand why people move to try to seek better opportunities for themselves. I've been all over the world, and I've spent time in war-torn places where hope for a better life doesn't even exist. As a result, it's always troubled me that the simple, arbitrary fact of where we're born largely determines whether or not we live a good life. But it's not compassion that compels me to speak against House Bill 87. I oppose this bill because it does not and cannot solve the problem of illegal immigration. The only way the issue of illegal immigration can be solved is for the federal government to act. Immigration is a federal responsibility, and we need federal action. The language of the bill proves that immigration is a federal issue. House Bill 87 repeatedly defines illegal alien as a person who is verified by the federal government to be present in the United States in violation of federal immigration law. As a nation, we cannot have a patchwork of 50 different state laws on immigration. We need a national policy on immigration because immigration concerns the crossing of people over national borders. Immigration is a national federal responsibility, and it's time for the federal government to overhaul our dysfunctional immigration laws and to make America safer and more competitive. My vote against this bill is not a vote to avoid state and local responsibility. Rather, it is a vote to assign responsibility for immigration to our federal government, where that responsibility lies. Do you hear that, Washington? Do your job. I also find it fascinating listening to this debate that the same people who want the federal government to stay out of state business want to extend the reach of state government into federal business through this legislation. That doesn't make much sense to me. Besides believing that this is a federal issue that needs to be handled at the federal level, I also have two practical concerns about this legislation. First, our state and local governments have faced dramatic cuts over the last few years and face even more cuts this year. In DeKalb County, my home county, the police have been cut back, and we are asking them to do more with less. Through this legislation, we're asking them to do even more with even less. Again, I believe we should demand that the federal government do its job instead of assigning federal responsibilities to our state and local authorities. Finally, I oppose House Bill 87 because it is going to open the floodgates to the courthouses. This bill gives private rights of action, in other words, the right to sue our state and local governments. When our state and local governments are bleeding red ink, why would we enact a law requiring our state and local governments to defend allegations that they didn't perform tasks that should have been performed by the federal government? That doesn't make any sense to me. And even worse, if they lose, they not only have to pay their own cost of defense, they have to pay the attorney's fees for the winning party. Does this make sense? Not to me. In fact, it seems this bill would be better titled the Lawyers Employment Act of 2011. In conclusion, I applaud the effort to reform our immigration policies, but I reject House Bill 87 because it is not the way to do it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield the well.